Hello everyone. So now in this video we'll be discussing the topic of cervical cancer. So cervical cancer is mostly linked to the women's, and it is one of the most common cancer in women's after the breast cancer. So it occurs in the lower part of uterus, and which is cervix. And what are the prevalence of the cervical cancer? So it is the fourth among most common in women's, not the second most, but it is the fourth. Okay, and out of 600,000 new cases were detected in 2020, and out of which 340,000 deaths were reported in the case of the cervical cancer in women. And incidence is very high in what regions like Central and South Americas and South America and Caribbean areas, South and East Africas. So these are the more prone areas for the cervical cancer. And if we talk about the pathology or causes, so one of the most important virus we have human papillomavirus. So these are the variants of this papillomavirus like HPV-16, HPV-18. These are the most common oncogenic types which leads to cancer and causes cervical cancer in women more than 50%. Okay, and now 10% additional subtypes we have like HPV-31, 33, 45, and these are associated about 10% of cases. 50% are associated with 16 HPV-16 variants and HPV-18, and 5% of cases are associated with HPV-52, 35, 58 are associated only for 2% of cases. Okay, so these are the variants and most common virus which will lead to cervical cancer. Now how it is transmitted, let's see. Human papilloma virus, so transmitted most cases by sexual contact. So one of the most spread of this disease is by sexual contact, and less often through your skin or other body parts, so mostly by sexual contacts. And there can be warts on hands or plantar warts on flat skin, and these are actually done by HPV-1 and HPV-4, HPV-7 and human papilloma virus variant 10. Okay, and there can be laryngeal papilloma by HPV-16 and HPV-11, and papilloma of external genitalia, it may be due to 6 HPV-6, HPV-11, HPV-16 and HPV-8. Okay, now papilloma virus is prone to infection of the flat and cylindrical epithelium of the cervix. So these are the most common epitheliums which are disturbed due to this virus, and they actually change the mucous lining of this epithelium, and that lead to the cervical cancer. So you can see the stages of here in the stages of your cervical cancer in this image. So this is your healthy cervix, and this is cervix, this is vagina, this is a cutaway portion, and the early stage is 1b cervical cancer. This you can see the cancer is spreading here. So this is vagina, this is cervix, and this you can see this white parts, these are the cancer which is spreading. As the stage goes on, the late stage 1b of cervical cancer, you can see this cancer is spreading here in this zoom image or speculum image. And 2b is more prone, you can see in the parametrium, it has been spread to the nearby tissues of the cervix, and there is somewhat bleeding is also seen in the case of stage 2b cervical cancer. So this is the staging. Now why prevalence of cervical cancer is different in different countries, and this is due to high tech detecting methods we have, like we have HPV screening and pap smear test for the human papilloma virus, and this actually changes in the cervical tissue. Pap smear test is used to see the changes in the mucous lining. So these are more advanced studies which we see in other countries, so that is why we have more prevalence in these countries, because more cases can be detected. Now what risk factors are we? First, sexual contact in early ages, younger age, we can say below 18 years. If the woman is having sex, then she has the risk of developing cervical cancer. And if we compare with the age of 21 years, there are about twofold times risk of cancer before 18 years. And if we have more than one sex partners, multiple sex partners, then there is risk. We have STDs, sexually transmitted diseases like chlamydia and genital herpes infections that can also lead to cervical cancer, HIV also. And if the woman is using oral contraceptives for more than 5 years, then she has the risk of developing this cervical cancer later on stage. And smoking also, the risk of smoking addiction can also lead to this So overall summary is that is the most common cancer in women, one of the most, and poor countries are registered most cases. About 90% cases are of poor countries. Okay, so this was your cervical cancer. Thank you.